Welcome to my July vibes video. And to show you some July vibes, I'm just going to flip the camera out and show you this beautiful setting I'm in so you can enjoy it too. People think this is lavender, but it's actually sage, and the leaves just smell amazing. Not so much the flowers. And here I'm sitting by the water. Listen to the boats go by. But let's tune in for this. All right, as I promised, I said I would be doing messages, for the month. And I don't know whether you listen to my June vibes or not. Sometimes what people have told me over the years, because I often given general predictions for signs or for trends, people often say if they listen over like a few months' time that they turn out to be accurate. So sometimes what I say in June doesn't happen in June, it happens in August. So bear with me with what I'm about to say for July as well. This is just what I'm sensing coming. And I'm going to try to make it sort of general for all of us versus getting specifically political. But I did get a couple specific messages that are political in the light of the recent, presidential debate and the Supreme Court decision. I did get some feelings about that. But I don't want to make my YouTube channel terribly political. I really don't. My stance on the matter right now is as an astrologer, we've all been waiting for Pluto in Capricorn, and now that's finished because it signals the challenge, the revolution, the dissolution of the patriarchal structures and the capitalist structures we live by in democracy. We were all expecting a challenge to democracy, and now here we are. So I don't really want to focus so much on the actual players as the general trends of dissent, unraveling of protections and laws, and the polarization of everyone. That's how it affects us in daily life, the more we give in to arguing about it with each other. So, that being said, I got a very strong image when I started to tune in for July. I almost saw like a metallic energy. You could call that a knife if you want. It doesn't mean it's a knife. I just almost saw like a beam coming from the sky in a metallic color. And it felt like a wave of energy that would sort of cool things off, make things much more rational, possibly cold, right? Metal tends to be the mental element. It can be great if there's been too much emotion. It can make it rational and analytical and a little more precise, a little more facts-based all over again. Taken to the extreme, it could also be lack of feeling and coldness. So, with that in mind, I felt that we would see, a lot of us will see some endings, departures, breakups, and rejuggling of alliances. That can mean anything. I'm getting a feeling that this rejuggling of alliances, who you're aligned with, who are your partners, who do you work for, who do you work with, who do you live with, who do you shake hands with and do deals with, that plays out on the global level. Although I can't tell you who these new alliances are, but I've been feeling this for a while, and I got a stronger message about that, of shifting alliances, allegiances, and strengthening ties in new ways. So hard to say whether we're going to get any outward proof of this, but the feeling is certain people saying, sorry, so-and-so, big corporate person, or sorry to this country, we're not working with you on that. That doesn't work with us. We're going to go make partnership with this other country or this other corporation. And it feels like it's at that level, and it's hard to know whether we will get any outward proof of that anytime soon. But when different powers that be decide to merge without us knowing right away, lots of things will first start to change before we're aware of why. Same with countries, allegiances, and who's partnering with who's backing up who in what war, all of this is shifting. So, on our own level, what it could mean is you might be looking for new jobs. You might be wanting to work with new people or forging new bonds, new business partnerships. You might be meeting new friends. You might be letting go of groups or friends that you've outgrown. And whatever happens at a macro level, we feel it at a micro level. So that's how I would say it plays out with us. The thing is, when that kind of level of shifting and chaos happens, could be chaotic, it's important that you rethink, what am I aligning with? So if you just jump from one job to another, or you feel like you want to break a dating pattern, but then you go too quickly in and you're in the same pattern. It's new, but it's the same. So what's really important with this kind of energy is to really be careful who those new alliances are. It's an opportunity to realign yourself with something much better versus falling into the same old kind of familiar pattern but in a new package. So it represents a time of true change if you're willing to make those true changes. New patterns and breaking old ones is going to feel awkward at first and then liberating at the same time. One thing that I got, this feels like a long-term thing that's already going on, but I just unfortunately feel it getting a little worse, is I felt like it's going to be harder and harder for victims, people who have legitimately been victimized, but also people who are claiming to be victims of something. That's not a good thing. So again, that feeling of that metallic energy, this coolness, sort of coming in, and there's less and less patience and audience for people who are victims or in a victim mindset. It's part of the North Node in Aries trend that we're in for a couple of years, which is a warrior mode. The direction we're going to is not to stay back and wait and waffle and mediate and see, oh, the poor guy, the poor girl, the underdog all the time. Sorry for it's a boat. It's really focusing on the warrior mode, on take charge, take the reins, initiate, take care of yourself, looking out for number one, having the skills to step up and take care and support yourself, and willingness to stand alone if need be, versus being a victim. So this is very hard. Obviously, we have lots of people who are genuinely victims, and they need more support than we give in society. At the same time, we have a lot of victim mindset where a lot of people do need a warrior mode to come back. They do need to take their power back and take care of themselves and step up and act and not wait. So we've got both, and it's going to be really hard to see how that plays out. So it also unfortunately just feels like the divide between the have and have not is growing even more, which is also a scary thing. Now, I got messages about Biden, but I don't know whether I should share it or not, but, well, I'll just say it. I don't feel Biden's health is good. That's obvious when we look at him on stage, but I felt that beforehand. But my feeling is that he will not make it to November. I'm not saying he passes away. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that his health or his mental state or his physical state will not be strong enough to bring him all the way to November. I just feel that very strongly. Now, I don't know who replaces him. I don't feel it's Kamala Harris, but I don't know who would replace him. The other thing I'm feeling strongly for this summer is I feel some major riots. I felt for some reason there could be 1 or 2 major riots after election rallies in the US. I felt more Midwest, Southwest area versus the North or the East. And it's not going to be everywhere widespread or everywhere somebody goes on the campaign trail or every city after one event. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like very particular places, maybe where somebody rolls into town and they are not appreciated, or they say things that rally, that there's just circumstantial things in a couple of I feel a couple of major cities where the combination of the circumstances going on there plus the candidate or the person who is saying something there, I feel will incite a riot. I'm feeling 1 for sure, possibly 2 big ones. I feel like from July to September is a weird period that we're in, and I got a feeling that by September there are wake-up calls. There's actions taken, a lot more targeted actions taken to, I feel, protect democracy and the state as we know it. But there's just so much going on, and it feels like by September people could really feel called to take action. Between now and then, we're in the summer and we're waiting and seeing. So that just sort of tells me, rest and enjoy your summer. If this is on a personal level, maybe you are also waiting and weighing things, and you will take more action by September. I'm not saying that just because it's the summer, by the way. I got a clear message of a weird window of time that we're in, July to September. Also up here in Canada, I have a very strong feeling that Trudeau is going to step down this fall before the next election. It would be this year. I believe this fall. It's like the end of the line for him with, he just can't charm his way out of anything right now anymore. So there's another medium that I watch, and I don't mind promoting him if you want to take a look at him. His name's Craig Hamilton Parker. Craig Hamilton. And he does predictions politically all the time on YouTube if you want to check his channel. And I'm bringing him up because very often I listen to him and I often agree or have had similar messages. It's just that, like I said, I don't want to get into being super political on my YouTube channel, but once a month, if I get messages, I will share them. But he also felt Trudeau stepping down and possibly accusations with China that could end up in legal problems for Trudeau. Criminal charges, he's thought, even. That I'm not sure. Maybe it's too close to home because none of us wants to see that in our own country. But needless to say, folks, we're in a time of huge changes, and it's very difficult to navigate and know what to do and what to plan. And as we said, despite what goes on at a macro level, it trickles down to the micro level, and we'll see more unrest and more confusion, more polarization amongst all of us, whether it's corporate mergers that change your workplace, whether it's city and province or state, or federal laws changing that change regulations and therefore change how we do business. I mean, it feels like there's a lot coming down the pipeline. And the best advice I can give you, because I can't solve the world, I wish I could. The best advice I can give you is to go within and to really just take a look at your own life and what's working well for you. As I said, it's a time of realignment, so we use the energy of realignment. You can use it for conflict and chaos, or you can use it for leapfrog. You can use it to raise the bar. And it's also planetarily a time when just today, July 2nd, Neptune is retrograde until December, and that can give us months of dismantling any kind of ideals or illusions that we've been carrying. And I think that'll play out globally in terms of how we look at our society and our planet, our leadership for sure, but it'll also play out in our own relationships. Dating's the most obvious one, or romance, if you've been putting anybody on a pedestal and you have illusions about, you thought that was this kind of relationship, but it's not. Or you thought that you were close to somebody, but it turns out you're really not. Or maybe even the other way around. You thought that somebody didn't really care, but it turns out they do. Sometimes our illusions are too negative as well. They're not always fantasies. So it's going to be very important to have a practice of reflection and staying calm and doing the work on yourself to realign with your true values, your true and your mission, if you have one, your values. You have to really dig and be honest with yourself, and then be honest with the people around you. And yes, there will be some endings, but there will also be some beautiful new beginnings as you realign your life. And I believe that the planet can do this too, even if it's not going to be easy. Realigning anything that's been going on for a long time, that has given a certain sense of security or momentum. If enough people say, we don't like this isn't working for us, and then you shift it, a lot of people hope that there's going to be an instant reward, but usually there's a lot of awkwardness, uncertainty, fear. You need a lot of faith, and then you can turn your boat around and get into a better river that's healthier. It's just like somebody who suddenly stops smoking or stops drinking. They don't feel so good right away, do they? There's a detox before you feel much better. So I believe right now the whole planet is in a detox, and it's not fun. But I do have enough faith. I don't believe people will let themselves just be steamrolled and crushed by whatever overarching, whatever you want to call it, powers that be, agendas. I just think that our collective spirit is much stronger than that, and we have to tap into that warrior mode, and we have to be clear with ourselves what we want and who we are before we can do that. And that means switching alliances, but I think you can come out of this period a lot stronger. I really do. So, if you are curious to listen to my next video, I'm going to go into what I see for this coming new moon in Cancer. and a little more in depth on the Neptune and what that could do for us. And if you need personal guidance, I am here to help you with that. All right, happy July. We'll see how this plays out.